And I think a lot of us go through the kind of transformational changes that come along with it's the hope and optimism that results from actually having a sound money, which is a lot to kind of tease apart in the sense
Yeah,
that,
what does that mean?
Right? I've talked about this sort of topic before, and I think it's pervasive within culture, and I know that it was pervasive within me as well too. Was this economic nihilism, right? The game's rigged. I can't get ahead. I know what the correct answer should be. Thinking back to more the libertarian, the Austrian economics framing. Okay, a gold standard or some sort of commodities or fixed value would be a better way of pursuing a communication layer for value, right? Money. But human incentives are that it will centralize, people will control it, they will abuse it, it can't win. And it really was this economic nihilism. And if you're starting from that foundational point of, I can't win, then why build? Why try, right? And that just permeates everything, right? It becomes very short term, becomes for the moment, it becomes really almost purposelessness, right? That it was part of my pursuing a longer time horizon in terms of family goals and things like this too, which lined up perfectly with Bitcoin. Bitcoin frees my time and energy to pursue higher orders, right? Bitcoin isn't the highest order, right? Bitcoin is the means of getting there. To take a silly analogy, right? Nobody buys a drill because they want a drill. They buy a drill because they want a hole in something. And Bitcoin is a tool in the same vein as well too. You don't want Bitcoin for itself. You want Bitcoin for everything else that it can provide you, whether it's long-term plannings and savings, right? Whether it's security, whether it's that uncensorability. It tees up other things, but we don't consume or have the Bitcoin for itself. And that's definitional for a money, right? It's the thing you trade for, not for itself, but for something else that will give you in the future. Getting into Bitcoin, freeing up your time, getting some clarity, getting plugged into these different kind of aligning networks as well too, you realize there is a opportunity in a vast amount of fields to improve both the quality of your life and those around you. Like, it just opens up the world, because all of a sudden you can go out there and you can be a top producer, right? You can just like tie into those warrior genes and those adventurer genes. If you could do anything, if you could try to build something great beyond yourself, what would it be? And we can go and pursue it, right? We can actually do it because we're not getting the rug pulled out from under us with fiat currency the entire time. We're getting a clearer vision of the world and then a clearer vision of our place in it. And so the idea really was that I learned so much more. Again, I came in beforehand with like the Austrian school, libertarian kind of political and economic views, but I was not knowledgeable on, even in my roles in like universities, with how corrupt the medical system is, right? Although we got some inklings of that a couple of years ago as well too, and the distortions in our food. And there's so many base assumptions that we have from being, unfortunately, like a fish in water, plugged into the fiat matrix for most of our lives, that there's a lot of unlearning and relearning and reevaluating out there, that the world as you know it was distorted by this fiat lens. Let's show you all the bright, wonderful spots and the truth that we now have through this Bitcoin lens.